Da-da. All right, what's up, folks? It's your boy MMG Smurf here, coming to you pre-recorded. I don't normally do pre-recordeds, but I'm starting to try to do it more often. And today we're talking about whether or not the drip bottom is in. Now, I also want to look at some of the other tokens in the drip ecosystem, the wider drip network. But the first thing I want to cover is whether or not the drip bottom is in. If you've been with drip over the last few months, and we've been here since the very start, but if you've been with drip over the last few months, you might have noticed that the token's been going down in price. I know a lot of people are worried about that, and so I want to cover that and just take a somewhat of an analysis type of look at this thing. I'm not a professional, not a financial advisor or anything like that, just a dude on the web who's been following drip for a long time, been following tokens, taking my time to try to learn about charts and whatnot. So I'm going to share some information with you guys. If you feel like it's horrible, let me know, and I'll try to do that much better next time, right? But with that said, let's go into the charts. All right, so I have a chart over here, which depicts the current drip chart, and we're way up there, and then we're starting to come down. And so it says that we peaked around 197, depending on what chart you look at. I think if we look over here on CoinGecko, it probably says, maybe this is the chart that says we peaked around 197. Let me look real quick. Let's refresh this thing. Let's go 90 days. Oh, no, this one is even less. And these ones are using PancakeSwap to get their analytics. I can't remember which one of these. One of these said like 197. The actual high is around 197 because I remember seeing it myself. So take that with a grain of salt when you see these ones too. And I believe it's like not only that these ones use PancakeSwap, but I believe maybe, so somebody correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, that they also take into account things like the 10% tax fee when you sell the token, I believe. So probably wrong about that, but yeah, even if it's just PancakeSwap, I think that would also incur that 10% tax fee, and why we see the prices that we see here. But this is the drip token, and now if we go back, actually I have to go back to my other. I have to go back to my other screen here really quickly and show you guys this window capture. Here, actually, I don't want to do this. I'm gonna widen this. I'm gonna go to our YouTube really quickly. So here's everything. Here's my ugly setup. Shout out Fight Legends. And if I scroll down here, I posted this tweet the other day talking about drip form to W pattern around $86 today. So that was all of like less than 24 hours at this point. So I want to watch this video real quick. This video was made on. I can see if I expand this.
It had a low today. Say this probably today.
2/21. So February 21st is when I made this video. But let's come back out. I just really want to just hear the sound here. So we're gonna listen to this, see what I have to say.
Everything's in a dip recently. If you look at this like $104 range, and it had a low today. Say this probably today, or just actually last night, I guess, of around $96. And so if you were watching our videos last week or our stream last week, I said that I could imagine, and now Drip Max is probably like, shut this up. But I could imagine drip dipping all the way down to somewhere around the $86 range, $64 range. I could imagine it going all the way down to a range like that before picking back up traction. That could happen. Things that might derail that from it going that low are the new improvements to the ecosystem coming. One of them tomorrow. The ML farms having a new improvement.
So there it was right here though.
But I could imagine drip dipping all the way down to somewhere around the $86 range, $64 range. I could imagine it going all the way down to a range like that.
All right, so I was saying that I could imagine drip dipping all the way down to around the $86 to maybe even $64 range, and like it's like that's not just me trying to be like bearish about drip or whatever. Like I hate drip or something. I consider myself to be a drip maxi. Been following drip for quite a while now. So I definitely don't want to see drip go down, but I also want to be realistic. It's helping support our esports community, help support me so that I can actually work on our esports community and our guild and stuff like that. So I definitely don't want to see it in a bear situation, but relying on it so much, you do have to be prepared for things. So why did I have that type of estimation in my head? That's because I'm looking at resistance levels. So I'm paying attention to two things actually. One of those things is that even Forex themselves have said that, tokens that they make have a history of dipping, 50 to 70, 65, 70% over their life cycle, and then picking back up traction, especially when they're new. Drip is, no different from that, and it's done it over and over again in its lifespan. So we look back at this chart. Now, some of these look smaller now, but you can see Drip went all the way up to $56, and then, tailed off, and then at some point it went down to $21. So that's quite the dip. Over here, we went up again, 33. And then we went all the way down. This took a long time for this one to happen, to $6. We went up, and then we came back down to $13. We went up to 100, and we came all the way down to $47. And let's say more like, because that's just like a wick, but let's say $50 range, so 50% correction. Came up 97, all the way back down to 55. So it's been doing this over and over again. So we went up to 190. We could come all the way back down, and if it was 190, I'm just taking a 50% correction. Throw a few more numbers in there if you want to play somewhere in the 190 range, but a 50% correction from 190 should put us somewhere around the $80 range from just that 50% correction. And if we wanted to put the support lines in there as well, and we start to play the support game, and let me widen this out a little bit. That's going to be somewhere in this range. So this level right here was previously, once it dipped down from this high of around $97, we failed to break 100, and then it dipped down. Then this range is starting to play as resistance. This is what you call the resistance range then. And so when we started to go back up, and here's that little W formation went up, and then starts to come back down, and then we got a W, which is a more powerful formation starting to form. We get these longer candles, and it broke through that resistance. And so now, whenever you go to the upside of something that was previously resistance, now it starts to act as support on the way back down. And so I saw this range as being a support level. Should we start to fall back down that hard? And so that support level, it puts us around, you might notice today, even if we look in the top right corner right now, it's saying $94, 94 or $95 or so like that, somewhere in that 90 something dollar range, which is the resistance level range. So that $90 something is the resistance level range. But when I go down just a little bit farther, it's that $86 range or so is right where we started to get that breakout from this little W bottom and then into that breakout range. So it's somewhere in this candle range. And that also happens to be 50% correction from the top. And so that's why I started to say, I believe that we could dip all the way down to that range. And now the other number that I gave, the 64 number, was for a potential capitulation event. So if something were to happen where we did go back down to those low levels, that bearish target, and then there was a capitulation, which just means all hell breaks loose basically, and it just falls. We saw this before when the pandemic first started with Bitcoin and other tokens. But if that happened, I believe we could break down to the more bearish target, which would be toward the bottom of this resistance level. And I do not think we'd break beneath this much resistance. That's quite a bit of resistance that we have there. But that's what I'm looking at. And again, not a financial advisor, not financial advice or anything like that. Just a dude on the web who's trying to, do his best he can with DRIP and other tokens. So that's where we're seeing that. That was my documentation of it. I should have posted that video, but oftentimes I want the video to be a certain way, or want to have a thumbnail on it. I just need to start pushing these out more often. The next thing I wanted to cover was this PIGS token. So we've seen DRIP. DRIP's looking pretty dang good, in my opinion. But the PIGS token, how's the PIGS token looking? PIGS token also has found that bottom, and if I keep scrolling out here, it's just going to look more and more obvious. So whoops. And again, when we're looking for those W patterns, I think that's a really easy kind of bullish pattern to see. And this is the day that we launched, and all that buying pressure, people were wanting to get PIGS token no matter what, pushed it all the way up to it's probably over $1,000 actually. And then we shot down, because people are getting those tokens, they're selling off, and they're trying to get their initial deposit back. Then it pumps up a little bit, and then shoots back down. So remember, when it pumped up before, that previous resistance level was around $369. So we're starting to meet that resistance level now, and it says actually we had a wick up. Is that today? Yesterday, a wick up yesterday above that resistance level, and then we got that indecision. When you see it like this, it looks like a little sandwich, or a little squished together thing with a wick to the upside and a wick to the bottom side. That usually signals some type of indecision in the market as far as which direction this thing's gonna go. But when we're looking at all these candles, if I were using Heikin-Ashi candles, and you can just look that up. I'm not gonna go into Heikin-Ashis right now. But basically, they're candles that kind of squish a bunch of data together, so you can get an average of the direction. But if I were to do that, this will probably tell me that we're still going to the upside. We still have upward momentum pushing. And again, this is kind of forming a W pattern here, and the W's are that much better when you have one kind of lower on the left side, and then the right side is a little bit higher up than the left. So right now, this is looking kind of bullish to me. And again, we're approaching this resistance level, so we might hit this resistance and trail back down. But it's looking like most likely, with the bullish momentum of this, that we're going to head up to the right. And it's not going to be straight up, but it's going to be, going off and up to the right and off to the races. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm hoping for, some hopium in there. But that's what this is looking like for the PIGS token. And we all know, if you're part of the Animal Farm, the DRIP network, that's because The token is currently in this deflationary mode where so few of the tokens are being printed out onto the market that actually we have a situation where more tokens are being taken out of circulation than are being put into circulation from people farming them. And I believe that's from Forex. I heard them say something like that. So that's where I'm getting that from. All right, and then I've decided to put this chart in there too, the dogs token, just because I figured, if I made this and somebody like actually watched it, they'd be like, oh, what about the dogs token? He didn't call it a dogs token. So let's look at dogs. We got a very similar situation as the pigs token, all the way up there, and then, but we have to kind of scroll in to see, how this really plays out. So this big chart like that didn't really help us too much, but if we squish this in some, actually let me adjust that. There we go. I just made it horrible to kind of read. Cool. This is gonna help. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna put it back on. Yeah, let's one of these ones like this. Okay. I just wanted to show you guys that. Oh my god. I basically just wanted to show you that it's starting to form a W pattern as well, and I'm having some trouble getting it to quite show that just so well. But this is also starting to form a W pattern. If I weren't clicking out so much here, you can see one start to form right here, and it goes up and to the right. And if this was, you could maybe call this a bull flag, where you get this long trend upward as the pole, and then it starts to form this flag, and then waves off to the right for a bit, and then shoots up. And over here, we're starting to see another W pattern potentially form. And I know this is really scattered. I wanted to show it. It can be shown a little bit cleaner if I kept going out and not pushing too much. But there you go. That looks pretty obvious to me that that's an upward W pattern. And we're about to get another one potentially right here. And as they say, the trend is your friend. And so if I were to draw a line out, I don't think you can draw lines over here. But if I were to draw a line out, it would probably, it would stretch underneath both of these, and I would be looking for it to maybe touch around right here, say $56 or so, and then bounce off of that and up to the right. But that's if I'm looking for a bullish scenario, and it can go either way. But I'm thinking bullish right now, and we're already at that $56 range. And why am I thinking bullish? I'm thinking bullish because we all know, if you're part of the Animal Farm and the Drip Network, that Forex is releasing the piggy bank on Tuesday, March the 1st. And so I think that'll be that much more bullish for the ecosystem. Whenever a new DApp is released, new investors come into the ecosystem. They find out about the different tokens. They find out about the Animal Farm, which is the best farm on Binance Smart Chain. They find out about DRIP, which is the best DApp on Binance Smart Chain. And they just start questioning everything that's going on, as well as the garden, all these other things. And they start saying, wow, this is a money-making opportunity over here. This is better than a lot of these other DApps. And they start to take their funds from these other loser DApps and put it into the DRIP network, the DRIP ecosystem. And DRIP does that much better for it. So that's what I'm looking out for. All right, now that I've gotten to that portion of things, I do want to cover a little bit more information strictly about Money Match Gaming, which is our company here, MMG Money Match Gaming, and what we're doing with the DRIP network to support our guild, our esports team, and our play to earn Discord server. So we have a matchmaking Discord server currently housing Super Smash Bros. We want to expand it to other games. We also do esports events online, so you can play some games, earn money in crypto, and we have a guild. So we have scholarships and stuff like that, and we want to keep expanding our guild opportunity. But all this is supported via cryptocurrency. We use more than just Binance Smart Chain, so we do use the Hive blockchain for our blogs. We do use DLive for our live streams. These are two different decentralized or blockchain applications which can help us fund things with cryptocurrency. And then, of course, the best opportunity on Binance Smart Chain, the DRIP network. So I'm going to start over with DRIP, especially for those that don't know about it, and I've been talking about it so much today. And are we logged in? Not logged in. So I'm going to log in really quickly. Come on. Too quick. Trying to be too quick. There you go. We're in there. All right. So what is the DRIP network? The DRIP network, this DApp specifically, and I like to show this over here too while that's loading up. We can refresh this page. This is going to be DApp Radar, which pulls together information from all the different DApps, applications basically, on the Binance Smart Chain. And we can see, yesterday we were sitting at number 3 for DRIP. We were beneath Mobox, but today we're at number 2. And we've been working our way up from not even being in the top 10 to being in the top 10, and now sitting at number 2 just behind PancakeSwap. That's freaking amazing, guys. And I think that we can definitely overtake PancakeSwap if we start to do more of the swapping side of things, actually become a DEX and whatnot. And I know they just have it under this high risk category right now, but it should just be underneath the DeFi category. So if you're looking in DeFi and not just Binance Smart Chain, you might not find it because they kind of label things weird. But just to pay attention to that, this is how strong DRIP is overall. So what is the DRIP network? To get this answered for you, and you can look at this right here, the DRIP Fountain contract, which can be found directly on the platform's website under the swap tab. Also allows to waive the initial 10% tax on buys and provides the lowest prices and highest liquidity, resulting in less slippage on larger trades. So if you're trying to buy DRIP token, the best place to buy DRIP is on the faucet, on the DRIP website itself. If you're trying to sell DRIP, you're going to incur that 10% tax fee regardless of where you're doing it. If you're doing it on PancakeSwap, it's still going to take that. If you're doing it over here, it just makes it so you don't have to do the slippage information and stuff like that. And you do still need to approve, tick this thing over and approve it. I don't actually have to do that. Probably just need to refresh the page and it would actually tick over for me. So I'm going to do that right now. Just to show you guys we actually be dripping. Also, this is our claiming day. So, got that information. What is the DRIP network specifically, though? What does it do? It's all explained over on this page right here. And this is why Money Match Gaming has chosen it for our esports program, because we wanted to be able to reward our players, our community, something. And I believe this would be something long term if we play it right, if we compound enough that we could be able to reward them something over the long term, and we could take that something and work it into smart contracts and whatever as we build, and so that it's constantly fueling something for our esports community, and constantly giving us the ability to reward players and buy into other tokens, etc. But what is it that allows DRIP to do this? The DRIP network's faucet is a low risk, subjective, low risk, high reward contract that operates similarly to a high yield certificate of deposit by paying out 1% daily return on investment up to 365%. And I say subjective because obviously when you look at PancakeSwap, they're like, or TapRadar, they're like, it's high risk. And then over here, they're like, it's low risk. Personally, I'm like, it's probably a lot lower. It's lower risk than a lot of other apps out there, seriously. But that's not financial advice. But we'll keep going through this. So it's similarly to a high yield certificate of deposit, paying out 1% daily return on investment up to 365%. So instead of like a normal certificate of deposit that would pay you out in United States dollars, you'd lock them in for a certain amount of time, usually years. It's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna lock this in for 2 years. And if you look up that information on how much they're gonna pay you over 2 years, it's like less than 1%. They're gonna pay you like 0.07, 0.7%, like not 0.7, 0.7% or something like that over 2 years, 0.8%. Woo! Over 2 years of locking up United States dollars, and they want like $10,000 or something like that to do that. So goodness, so much money. But over here, you could instead of United States dollars, they're using the DRIP token. So you invest the DRIP token, you deposit your DRIP token, and then you get 1% of DRIP token back daily. So simple math: if we had 100 DRIP tokens, then we would put 100 DRIP tokens in, and on day 2 we would get 1 full DRIP token back, and we can choose to either just claim that and take it out, which would incur a little 10% tax on that 10% that when we sell it. So we'd probably get like 0.9 DRIP back after we sold it, or we could just rehydrate it, put that full 1 DRIP back in, and then we would get 101, and we'd have 101 DRIP in there, and now we'd be earning with 101 DRIP for day 2. And then we hydrate again, and then we earn it with 102 DRIP. And that's the beauty of compounding. Not only do you not incur that extra fee, but you're also building up your deposit, which is what you're earning that 1% on. So your principal. And so you want to keep building this number up. MMG, starting November 1st, we did this very specifically. We took a donation from a friend of mine who said he believed in Money Match Gaming, what our mission was and stuff like that, how we wanted to support esports and change the game. Because a lot of these other orgs and stuff like that are like begging the main companies to like support their events and stuff. And that's just not the way. We got to do it on our own. But we had a $500 deposit at the time. DRIP was around $15, so that made this like somewhere around 30 DRIP tokens. And we've employed a strategy of 5 days out of the week, which is about 80% of the time, compounding, and then 2 days out of the week claiming. So Monday and Friday we claim, and the rest of the time, every day of the week, we're hydrating. No matter where I'm at, I'm gonna hydrate. And so that's gotten us to 76 DRIP total today, and that's worth $7,725 even on this massive dip. So that can increase, and if we increased it and we went back to the numbers we saw before, this would be around $14,000. It's gonna be crazy if it goes back up. Probably around 12,000 or 13,000. That's just crazy though. That's crazy. It's only been 3 months. So even right now today, we have $68 worth of drip to claim, 0.67 drip. It's not been the full 24 hours, but I like that much more because that means we'll be able to compound even more if I claim it earlier than later. So we're going to claim that on stream live for you guys. I'm going to show you guys what I've been doing with that drip when we do claim it. And I know this is going to start to extend the video a little bit longer than a lot of people might like, but I feel like we got through some good information, especially early on with whether or not the drip price was actually crashing. And again, it's not financial advice and whatnot, but this is really good as like a case study for how an esports org can survive in turbulent times like right now. Like we're seeing grassroots esports orgs close all over the place. If you're not one of the big dogs that's actually just being sponsored by cryptocurrency right now, like the TSMs and the Team Liquids and stuff like that are actually being sponsored by cryptocurrency right now, then chances are you're looking at maybe closing shop, or you're struggling to pay, can I actually invest this much time when I have to do my job and stuff like that? We're not having those issues because we're like really active in this, and that's not to toot our own horn, try to throw shade at anybody, but we just want, we've been doing this for years and telling other people about this. You look through our YouTube channel, we've been preaching this stuff for over 5 years, and we just haven't we saw like one other org has actually approached us and been like, yo, we want to try and do some of that stuff. Hats off to them for even taking those steps. But so just did that, and now if I wanted to, you can see, I'll actually see right there in the drip balance. If I go over to the swap page, you can see it right there, $61. Now if I sell this, of course I'm going to take that hit of that 10%, but I'm going to do it anyways. We're going to turn this right back into drip actually, because I'm bullish on drip. But I want to utilize it. So after I claim it, you could just let it sit, and for the last month or so, or 2 months that we were doing these streams, I was just letting it build up so we could show people in videos like, yo, that's like $1,000 sitting over there. So we had like $1,000 or so build up. But now we're starting to utilize that regardless. I don't want to just let it sit on a Monday or Friday whenever we claim. So that's going to give us about 0.15 BNB. And what am I going to do with that 0.15 BNB? Again, I could have did this trade on PancakeSwap, but we're choosing to ignore that and just go through the whole drip ecosystem. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the animal farm. So the animal.farm, I can start on the homepage here for anybody who just types it in normal. And then I'm going to go to this thing that says Drip Liberation. So in Drip Liberation, you can take cash, and you can turn it into a drip LP, a liquidity pair, or you can use any of these other tokens that they have in here that are like major tokens, and you can use those to turn into drip liquidity pairs. And so we're going to use some BNB. I'm going to leave myself just enough to be able to do transactions. 0.15, that'll be plenty. Left over, you need like 3 zeros worth to be able to do transactions. So if you start falling underneath like 2 zeros, then you're starting to fall in trouble. But this gives us enough. So I put 0.15 BNB in there in the garden, or not the garden, drip liberation contract, and that's going to turn that into BUSD and drip liquidity pair. So yes, I just sold drip, but I'm turning it right back into drip and BUSD. And there goes, set that one through. You can see my money's been taken out. And now, I'm not even gonna go, if I wanted to, I could go look at PancakeSwap, and if I go look in the liquidity section, I think I have drip loaded in here in my liquidity. There it is. Yeah, it'll show it. But we know what we're doing, so we're going over to the next section. And now what I can do is I can push this in here, and you can see here's that $1,000 or so that I was talking about that was just sitting on the sideline before. So it could have just been sitting as drip, and as drip goes down, it's just going down and this and that. But instead, we put it as drip in BUSD, and as it goes down, it's a liquidity pair, and it's still earning us something every single day. So it's not just sitting there doing nothing. It's actually earning us PIX token, and it's earning us about $8, $10 almost worth of PIX token a day. And so that's better than it just sitting there, in our opinion. And that's what we want to do with it. That's what we chose drip to begin with, because we figure if we use this, not only do we get to build up our drip and build up that pool, but then eventually we can start to buy up other tokens like Bitcoin and like Dogs token, and I didn't know that was coming down the top of pipeline, but whatever other tokens and opportunities, we can start buying in those opportunities and expand our treasury for our esports, our guild, etc., our developments with our Discord play to earn bot, all this stuff. So we're going to take that drip BUSD pair and put it in here. It's going to pull out that money that we have stacked up right now, and I'm doing it this way instead of claiming first, just to save myself on fees. I could harvest and then put it in, but that's a waste of money on fees. And so anytime you can do it more efficiently, do it more efficiently. And then these other two, I'm probably not going to claim today. I usually wait for these ones. I let them build up for about 2 days. And this reminds me of my early days in Drip. But I usually let these build up for about 2 days, and then I claim them so that I save myself a little bit on fees as far as doing action, so gas fees. Don't think we have anything in pools right now. We used to have the dogs token in pools, but I moved it into the farm area. Just thought that'd be better for it. And then what we do have is, now that I got that pigs token out, about that $7 or so, I'm going to put it over here. And so if you've been watching our videos, our live streams, usually we do this on live on stream, but this is going up from being around, around less than $200 all the way to above $300 now in less than a month. We've done this all throughout February. So wonderful to be watching this happen. And, I hope in 3 more months it'll be over $1,000 total that we have over here. And we're just like, yes, esports. This is how we finance esports. This is how we do it. We do it with decentralization. We do it with Drip Network and the Animal Farm. And that's going to cover our video today. Up to $321 now. 2 days ago, that was $280. So that's everything. Hopefully that's been informational, a little bit entertaining. Learned something, figured out maybe how you can support your own projects. With Drip, there's a lot of people out there doing really cool things. That's it for me. See you guys in the next one. Your boy, MMG Smurf, out.